Hello and welcome to this very special interview on Bloomberg Quint. We're here with the outgoing chairman of SEBI, Mr. UK Sinha, who spent 6 years in this chair and in those 6 years has accomplished many things. It's tough to list every change at SEBI in the past 6 years, but here's the short list. Shorter IPO timelines and merchant bank grading, enforcing a minimum public shareholding threshold, rewriting the insider trading regulations, the ICDR, the SECC, and many more, clamping down on collective investment schemes, continuing the battle against Sahara, and overseeing the merger with FMC, the commodity market regulator.
My biggest satisfaction and an endorsement that we have, and it happened only last week, was that the Harvard Business School have selected the work done by SEBI in the last 5 years as a case study.
Wow.
And it will be taught to their students, and they have come out with a very detailed report, and that case study will be presented to students. It will be available for them. And our satisfaction in SEBI is that while case study, that too by institutions like HBS, are normally done for very few selected companies, I don't remember whether they have done it for any regulator anywhere in the world, and more so for any Indian regulator. So that is a matter of satisfaction as well as endorsement.
Congratulations on that, sir. What I want to ask you is really what has been the toughest, most challenging part of your job in the last 6 years?
Let me tell you that there is a perception and an ongoing debate in this country about how independent a regulator is and what is the level of interference from the government. I have said it in the past, and as I am leaving SEBI, I would like to reiterate that successive governments have been very supportive to SEBI, and without government support, SEBI would not have been able to achieve even a fraction of what it has achieved. Whenever we required any changes in regulations or laws, we got full support from the government. If, for example, when we are dealing with the collective investment scheme matter and we realized that there is a lacuna in the law and the law had to be amended, in 2013, the then government came out with 3 rounds of ordinances, and this is rather unprecedented. And when the government changed and the next government came and they were in a position to get it passed in the parliament, this was one of the first things that they did. So we have got full support from the government. And the question of independence of regulator has to be taken not at a superficial level, but at a very intensive level, and that intensive level is that what is the role of a regulator? A regulator, and especially SEBI, is created by an act of parliament. So the regulator has independence in its operational matters, but SEBI board has representation from people in the government.
Yes.
And SEBI has to work within the parameters of the policy requirements of the government. For example, if the government of the day decides that there will be no minimum public shareholding in listed companies, there is nothing more than SEBI can do. This is the law of the land. Take the example of foreign portfolio investors. If government of the day decides that there will be no inflows allowed for foreign portfolio investors in this country, there is nothing SEBI can do. But once that policy decision has been taken, then the role of SEBI starts, and as an expert body, as a body which has got knowledge and expertise in this area, we have full freedom to devise our regulations. And once the regulations have been framed, let me assure you that the actions which are taken in specific cases, what to talk of government interfering with me, even I can't interfere with my investigation officers, I can't interfere with my adjudication officers, I can't interfere with my whole time members. You will be surprised to know that many of the orders which are passed by SEBI, I come to know of it once it has been put on the website. So we have that level of independence which have been given to our officers. So it's a wrong notion that the government of the day does interfere in our working, and so the challenge that you were talking of about how the government's interface has been. My own feeling is that the government interface has been very, very positive, and it has only helped in strengthening the working of SEBI. One thing is of course there that government comes out with reforms or has come out with reforms, I am talking historically, based on something going wrong in the market. So, if a crisis has happened, a law is passed. If a crisis has happened, a law will be passed so much in haste that an ordinance will be promulgated. That is perhaps one area where more intensive consultation and proactive action from the government is required. Let me give an example. The law of SEBI, which was amended in 2014, it has prescribed that the monetary penalty which will be imposed by adjudication officers, they have no discretion in that. So, we said that look, this is not going to work out. There are circumstances, accentuating circumstances where it has to be done. So, the law was amended in 2014, and it said that based on certain criteria given in the amended law, the officers can start their exercise their discretion. But there has been a case in the Supreme Court where the court has held that these amendments are prospective.
Yes.
So, they can't be applied retrospectively. The problem is that 80-85% of the cases that we have in our hand today, those cases are prior to 2014. We have been urging the government that please pass an amendment and issue a clarification that this also applies to existing cases. Government may have its own compulsions why they are not able to do it, but because of that the adjudication process is suffering. That is the point I am making.
You've brought up two interesting things here. I'll ask you the more uncomfortable question first. In the last few months, several people from within the business and markets and economic community have questioned the independence of RBI, given the role it played in the demonetization effort. You said that SEBI is an independent regulator that functions within the laws of the land, and therefore the laws represent the will of Parliament and the government of the day. Have you in your 6 years doubted the independence of very important institutions such as RBI and SEBI? When you were listening in to the demonetization commentary, did you think that we were seriously at peril, our institutions were not respected?
Seriously, you don't expect me to answer this question?
I do.
No, I can't answer this question for a fellow regulator. They can answer this, and I'm not aware of facts.
But Mr. Sinha, you have served in the finance ministry.
Yes, I have.
You have, led a very important institution in our capital markets, UTI. You've helped, salvage it, if I may call it, in its most troubled times. You've, led this regulator for the last 6 years. You understand institution building, you understand capital markets, you understand policy making. And so therefore, I'm asking you, on your outgoing day, whether you think that these were serious questions that should have been answered more effectively.
I have no evidence or material with me to guide me whether these consultations did take place or not, and I am not the right person to answer this.